All right, everyone. So welcome. Just a note, we are recording. So if you unmute yourself and you begin talking, you may end up on the recording. So just FYI, if you really don't want that, then um, communicate through the chat or the text box there. Okay. But mostly it's just going to be me. As we go through the class, you might occasionally see me get off my mat and come over here. That's because on this particular platform, um, it'll it'll black my computer out after a few minutes, so my computer starts going to sleep for whatever reason. I have no idea how to prevent that from happening. So, in order for me to see, the chat and anything that's going on, any issues, I need to keep the computer running. I can't let it go to sleep. So you might see me occasionally get up and come over here and fiddle with something, and that's what's going on with that. As far as music goes, I'm not going to be playing any music. There are copyright issues with that. And from what I've heard, it's pretty ineffective online. I think there are certain platforms um, where they allow you to stream, like from the computer, and that might be a little bit of a different story, but I don't think this is one of those platforms, and I don't have any experience with that. So I will not be having any music. If you want to put on some music in the background, you're welcome to do that. Okay. And if you have any trouble, my main advice is don't do anything that is painful. Anything that's painful may be an indication that there's something wrong. There, it may not be, but we don't know. So what I'd like you to do is just refrain from doing anything that's painful, and then let me know in the chat or before the next class, or just send me a message if you want, and just let me know what was problematic, and then we can look at that together and see if we can get to the bottom of it, what was causing the issue. All right, so it's important because otherwise you could hurt yourself. For part of the class, we're going to be moving fairly vigorously, fairly quickly, so there won't be a lot of time for elaborate instructions and things like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our practice, and I'd like to invite you to start with a little bit of chanting with me. Of course, you don't have to chant, and I won't know either way if you are or you are not at home, but chanting is a nice way to begin a yoga practice. One thing it can do is remind us that yoga is not exercise. Exercise can be yoga, but yoga is not exercise. So if you'd like to join in, we're going to chant this together 3 times. It's called the pranava, and the pronunciation is Om. Namaste. Okay, so let's begin as we usually do with a little bit of stillness. So coming onto your mat, any comfortable seat, sitting tall with the spine erect, sacking the ears, the shoulders, and the hips. Letting the shoulders relax down away from the ears. Letting the teeth part slightly, and all the muscles in the face release. Bringing our attention to physical sensations in our body. Now, we all like to feel good, but reality is such that we don't always feel good. So as we come into our physical experience, right now we are more concerned with what we are experiencing and not so much with whether we like what we're experiencing or not. Okay? So I'm inviting you to just notice without judgment. We don't have to decide whether it's good or bad. We're just noticing sensation wherever we feel it. For instance, right now in my own back, I feel a little bit of tension, tightness, a little bit of discomfort. You might even call it pain. So instead of getting upset about that or thinking that that pain shouldn't be there, I'm just noticing that it's there. And then let's notice our breath. Our breath doesn't lie. And so if we find that our breathing is erratic, if it's rushed, it's forced, this is telling us something. It's very valuable information. Now, right now, again, we're not concerned with changing the breath. But again, we are mostly concerned with noticing. And then how do we feel? Again, we all like to feel certain emotions. But right now, we're just letting ourselves feel whatever it is that we're feeling, good or bad. You really do not need to be afraid of how you feel. This can be a revelation for some people because they think they need to run away from sadness, need to run away from unpleasant emotions. But what we find through yoga practice is that we have a capacity to experience the full range of human emotion. That is part of our intrinsic nature. And so we're just letting those emotions be there. Again, we might like some of them, we might not. We might label some good or bad, but right now we're avoiding that temptation. We're just letting them sort of dance and play against our awareness. And then notice the mind. For modern people like us, the mind is often very busy. Very busy. Just constantly doing something, planning, fixing something. Once we begin to meditate and become quiet, very often we find this somewhat unnerving, unpleasant. But again, we aren't here to decide the rightness or wrongness of what we're finding, what we're discovering. We're just really sinking into the experience more and more deeply and fully. Now let's return awareness to our breathing. And as you inhale, you're going to draw the breath down and feel the belly expanding. Then we draw the breath up into the ribs, and the ribs begin to expand. And then finally, the upper chest lifts right at the top of the inhale. As we exhale, that reverses. So the upper chest comes down, the ribs come in, and the belly pulls in and up. Okay, and that is called Dirgha, or three-part yogic breathing. So I'd like you to continue to breathe in that way pretty much throughout the class. Now we'll add another technique to that, and this is called Ujjayi, and that is the ocean sound. And this is made like you're fogging a mirror, but with the mouth closed, and hopefully you can hear me do it. Let's continue that technique as we come forward into a tabletop and begin to introduce some movement. On the inhale, the tailbone will lift, the belly will drop, and the crown of the head comes up. As we exhale, the tailbone tucks, the back rounds, and the crown of the head comes down. Very gently moving the spine back and forth, following the breath. Okay, you can do as many of those as you like, but at a certain point, you might find that more repetitions do not produce much more change, at which point you've probably gotten about as much as you can out of it. You can also try a sideways movement that looks like this, exhaling hips down, inhale through center, and exhaling to the other side. Okay, this will get into your sides a little more and twist the spine a bit. Again, you can do as many as you like. Once you feel that you have adequately warmed up your spine, muscles in your back, you can return to a neutral position. From here, we tuck our toes and come back into the down dog. And in downward dog, we will pedal the feet and stretch the toes, work the ankles, and roll over the toes and circle the ankles. You can bend one knee or both knees at a time. You can also work the shoulders and the arms. Okay? And then once you've stretched everything out again, you come into your full expression of down dog. Now again, don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm teaching the class. I won't always be doing all the postures. Again, I might take a break from time to time to adjust something. But you're in the downward dog. And in your downward dog, I'd like you to pay attention to what's going on. Your hands should be about shoulder width. Okay, the fingers are spread as wide as they will go. The four pads under the knuckles are firmly planted in the ground. The chest is actively drawing back toward the toes, and the heels are actively reaching toward the ground. They may never reach the ground, but they're moving in that direction. And the feet are hip distance. Okay, so this is our standard downward dog. And if we're doing this pose properly, there should be a sense that there's a nice openness in the chest and the belly, and we can breathe maybe even deeper than we were earlier. From here, let's walk our feet to our hands as we come into a ragdoll, dangling at the front edge of the mat. Letting the head hang, the back relax. You can grab the opposite elbow if you like. Just some gentle movement here, back and forth, swaying side to side, nodding the head, shaking the head, making sure everything feels loose and relaxed as much as possible. Then with the arms relaxed, we'll inhale and gradually roll up to a standing position, stacking the ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Let's bring our feet together and we'll start with Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. With the inhale, we draw our arms up, touch the palms, and lift the heart as we come into a gentle standing back bend. With the exhale, we bring the hands to the heart center, coming forward and down, placing the palms flat and bending the knees if necessary. As we inhale, we come into the half lift, looking forward and lengthening the spine. As we exhale, step or jump back to the top of a push-up, aligning ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Let's have the wrists directly below the shoulders. Okay, for this first push-up, we'll drop our knees so we can focus on the arms and shoulders. The shoulders are active, not relaxed. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, lower down halfway, elbows hugging the ribs. Take a breath here, and with the next exhale, drop all the way onto your belly. Release the tops of the feet to the ground, and with an inhale, press into your hands, lift the head, neck, and chest. Keep the pelvis or hips on the ground. Let the neck be a natural extension of the spine as you gently press the tops of your feet into the ground. With the next exhale, you gradually come down. toes and press back first to tabletop and then to the downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in downward dog. Again, this is one of those times when you're going to see me get up and come over to the computer to adjust things. It's necessary from time to time when we're teaching online classes. Okay, so let's learn another variation of sun salutation 8. Coming to our toes as we inhale. With the exhale, we step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. We inhale, we come all the way up to standing back bend. And as we exhale, we come forward and down. Inhaling to the half lift, and we'll exhale, again stepping or jumping back to the top of a push-up. As usual, I'll give you a choice between knees up or down, but if you're going to keep your knees up, you want to do the same thing with the arms, all right? So if I can't do that, I'm just going to drop my knees. Let's take a deep breath and exhale, halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Okay, my knees are actually off the ground, so I'm active. It's not collapsing like this. Okay, it's an active pose. My legs are active, all right? And then as I exhale, I can come straight back to down dog or use the tabletop again to make that transition. Let's take a breath here. All right, inhaling to the toes, looking between the hands. As we exhale, we step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. With the inhale, we come all the way up and back to standing back bend. We exhale, we release our hands and come all the way forward and down. Good. Inhale to half lift, and then exhale, if you can, right to the bottom of a push-up. Inhaling to upward facing dog. And then you can exhale to a push-up, tabletop, or straight back to downward dog. Okay, so that's the form that we call Sun A, 3 different versions of it. All right. Now that you know those 3 versions, they're basically easy, intermediate, and difficult. And so now that you know them, you can choose the one that you feel is most appropriate for you. Hopefully one of those fit into your practice. They're not necessarily better or worse, okay? The difficult version is not necessarily better than the easy version. You want to match where you are. You don't want to be too easy, and you don't want to be too hard, okay? You want to be right where you are with your practice. And if you need easier or you need harder, again, come and talk to me after class, and we can modify, all right? But hopefully one of these 3 fit you. Now we're going to do what are called half breath transitions. We won't pause. We're not going to go faster. We're just not going to pause. Okay, so the breathing is the same. We're using Dirga and Ujjayi. All right, and we aren't going to pause until we do 3 rounds. All right, and I've learned through experience that I shouldn't do them with you because I'll run out of breath. All right, so inhaling to the toes, filling the lungs there. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. As you inhale, come all the way up to standing back bend. As you exhale, release all the way forward and down. Inhaling to the half lift, and exhale to the bottom of your push-up. Inhale to the upward dog as you fill your lungs completely, and exhale right back to downward dog as you empty the lungs. Inhaling, coming to your toes and looking forward between the hands. We'll exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. With the inhale, we come all the way up to standing back bend. With the exhale, come forward and down. Inhaling to half lift as we fill the lungs, and exhale to the bottom of a push-up. Inhaling to the upward facing dog, and we exhale back to the downward dog. Good, let's do one more round. Inhaling to the toes, fill the lungs. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, maybe a little deeper. Exhale, forward fold, maybe you fold in a little more. Inhale to half lift, filling the lungs there. and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale to the upward facing dog, filling the lungs completely, and exhale right back to downward dog. Good. Please take a few breaths here. If you are winded, then try a child pose or a couple of breaths. Okay? Catch your breath. Very important. All right, now we're going to move on to sun salutation, B form. Okay, we add a couple of postures, and it generally is a little more challenging than the first sun salutation that we did. So here we are. We inhale to our toes as we look between the hands, and with our exhale, we make our way to the front edge of the mat. Let's keep our knees bent, and we'll inhale as we sweep up into the chair pose. I want to feel two things in this pose. I want to feel my legs working, and I want to feel my arms up and back, so nice and open chest. Notice if something like this is happening, okay, or something like this. All right, you're like folding it. Okay, so let's try and avoid those things. Arms are up and back, shoulders up and back, hips down. Good. Exhale, forward fold as we release. Inhale, half lift, and we exhale right to the bottom of our push-up. Inhaling to our up dog, and again, we make our way back to our down dog. Good. Let's bring our feet to touch here. We're going to inhale that right leg up and back. Let's bend the knee. If you want, you can stay where you were. We open up the hip. Okay, move it around a little bit. And if you like, you can flip your dog over. So lifting those hips, moving that arm, using those muscles in your back. Good. Then we come back. Let's take our full expression of three-legged dog. So we lift that leg high, flex the foot, point the toes, knee and hip straight down. Let's take a deep breath here. Exhale as we place that foot between the hands. We're going to drop that back heel, and we'll inhale to a warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Okay, front foot and knee point straight ahead. The knee lunges directly over the heel. If I drew a line from my front foot, it would intersect the back foot at the heel or the arch. My left hip is drawing forward. My right hip is drawing back. Again, my arms are as straight as they can be, drawing straight up and back, opening the chest. Palms are facing one another, fingers energized. Let's take a deep breath here, and as we exhale, release to the bottom of our push-up, and we'll make our way back to the downward dog. All right, so let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale that left leg up and back. That's called three-legged dog. Then we'll bend that knee, come into the dog tail pose. This is like our dog tail moving around. And then you can flip over into this position, sometimes called wild thing. It's an asymmetrical back bend. Again, we don't have to be still. I don't recommend you do. Try and be still, moving, articulating the joints. And then we'll come back and take our full three-legged dog pose. So see how I'm lifting that leg up? So it's not down here. I'm not bending the knee anymore. I'm also not letting this hip open up. Okay, so nice and straight. Take a deep breath, exhale, place that foot between the hands, drop the back heel, inhale, warrior one. Okay, now this is really easy for you, and it might be, then you're going to go wider and deeper until you feel that front thigh working and this hip stretching. Okay, this thigh can eventually get to be parallel with the ground. Why don't I do it like this? Because this is too much for me. I can do it physically, but it's just too much. It's a little too intense. Okay, so again, we want that edge where there's some intensity. Right about here is good for me. Some intensity, but not too much. I can really pay attention. I can drop into this experience. All right, deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up. We're going to make our way back to the downward facing dog again. All right, very good. So now we will again do 3 rounds of half breath transitions. These really help us to heat up, to warm up. Why is that important? Why do we do hot yoga? Why do we want to heat up? Because in the yoga tradition, it's taught that we purify the body the same way that we purify gold. When you heat gold, it removes the impurities from the gold. And with the yogi, it's really the same way. When we sweat, when we are heating our bodies up, we're removing those toxins. This is the philosophy. Whether or not that's true or not, whether that's proven by science or not, who knows? But all I know is people around the world are using yoga to heal and to become healthy and to feel better. So my guess is, even if it's not scientifically provable, there's something to that idea. There's some truth to it on some level. Okay, so we'll do a few rounds of this. Inhale to the toes, fill the lungs there. Make sure you're still using the techniques. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhale to chair pose. Make sure you feel those legs. Exhale, forward fold. Empty the lungs completely. Don't rush that. Inhale to half lift. You could do a crow pose there. Exhale to the bottom of your push-up, low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog. And we're going to exhale to downward dog. Inhale the right foot forward. So we're skipping 3-legged dog, coming right up to warrior 1. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, low plank position. Inhale to upward dog, fill the lungs. And exhale, downward dog. Other side, inhale, left foot comes forward. It's an awkward transition. Do the best you can. Exhale, right back down, bottom of the push-up. We're going to inhale to upward facing dog, and we exhale to downward dog. Inhaling to the toes there, deep breath in. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, chair pose, okay? Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, bottom of the push-up, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale to downward dog. So inhale the right foot forward, warrior 1. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward dog. Other side, inhale, left foot forward, warrior 1. Exhale, low plank position. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale to downward dog. Last round, inhale to the toes, fill the lungs there. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. Then inhale to the last chair pose. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right foot to warrior 1, sweep right on up, and exhale to low plank position. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale to downward dog. Inhale, left foot, sweep up, warrior. Good. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale back to the downward dog. Good. Breathe there. Okay, now if you want to grab a sip of water, now is a great time to do that. If you need to catch your breath, take child pose. And if you want to work on an inversion or an arm balance that you've been working on, now's a great time to do it. You're nice and warmed up. So at this stage, very often you find you want one of 2 things, depending on your age, depending on how often you're exercising, other things like that. Your just genetic makeup, right? Some people want a break. Good, take a break. Other people are like, I'm just getting started. I want something even harder. So again, there are many ways that you can add in more challenging postures. If you don't know more challenging postures and you'd like to learn them, we can do a, online private at any time. I can teach you arm balances, all kinds of different things. So just let me know if that's where your interest is. There's all kinds of ways to learn that stuff. So we just don't have time in a class like this to spend a lot of time breaking down advanced postures. All right, so we're going to move on now. So make your way back into your downward dog. And make sure that I just touch the screen here. Keep it from going to sleep. Okay, so today we're going to work into some nice deep twisting. All right, so we're going to begin inhaling our right leg up. Or no, let's do the left side first. So left leg up, exhale that foot between the hands. And then we're going to inhale up into this position. Okay. All right, so we're in this sort of Michelangelo position, if you will, like that drawing of the person. All right, now we're going to do a little flow. Now the thing with flow is we're not going to worry about alignment because then the flow starts to break down. I do want you to be careful about what you feel. So again, don't put your body into any positions that are painful. All right, so we're going to turn, these are my left toes. So I'm going to turn my left toes forward and my right toes forward. And I'll pivot my hands. I'm just going to exhale into a gentle triangle. What I mean is I come forward until I feel a little stretch here and here, maybe one or maybe both. I'm just going to inhale right back up and I'll pivot around to the other side. Same thing, stretching the inside of the thigh. Good. So let's do that again. We're going to pivot over this way. Just stretch the thigh and the side. Maybe you can go a little deeper as your body begins to warm up. Coming around the other side again. Stretch. Good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be pretty. And one more time. Stretching over this way. Stretch. Good. And coming over to the other side. Stretch. Good. Now we're going to add a little twist. So I come back to center and come right down here like this. Okay. Now you feel free to use a block if you want to use a block or something on your hand. Okay. Coming down like that. Again, we're going to repeat that 3 times on both sides. So this is 2. If this is difficult, notice what makes it difficult. All right. Where is the sensation? Is it the legs or the spine or the shoulders that are inflexible? Notice. Exhaling down and inhaling back up. All right, our last one is probably the most challenging one. So we come back up and then we'll turn all the way into a deep twist here like this. All right, and then we inhale all the way back up, sweeping around, same thing other side. Okay. Good. So let's do that again. Coming up and all the way around, twisting. All right. And again, this is number 2. And we'll do one more round. Coming up, twist, and up, and twist. Good. All right. Now let's exhale our hands to our hips and we'll do some static postures now that we're warmed up. And we'll pay a little more attention to our alignment. Okay, so we're going to step that back foot forward. Let's square the hips. Okay, what that means is if you had, lights on the front of your hips, they would be pointing straight ahead, not, right? If I had lights, they'd be pointing out this way. So the lights are pointing straight ahead. Both my feet are on the ground and both my legs are straight, okay? Some people might be able to be wider. I could probably go a little bit wider, all right? That's probably about it for me. But it's not important. It's just that we're doing the best we can given the parameters that we've got. Okay, from here, we inhale our arms up, cross the left thumb over the right. And as we exhale, we'll come forward and down with a nice straight spine and our arms framing our ears. We're going to try and come as far down as we can, just like that. And if we can, we let the pinkies touch the ground and then we split our hands apart. Okay? Now again, feel free to use a block. We put the right hand right next to our left foot, okay, directly under the shoulder. Got a nice long spine. Exhaling here, and then when I inhale, I'm going to draw my left arm up. Okay? I'm looking up toward that thumb. I'm drawing my left hip back, my right hip forward, keeping those heels firmly grounded. So I'm sending energy out through that right heel, sending energy out through my left fingertips, stacking those shoulders, breathing here. Good. Let's exhale that hand down. And now let's work on some balance. So I'm going to come off the back foot. Now notice what I do. I lift it up just like I did in three-legged dog. So again, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. Okay, the hip is down, foot is flexed, hip, knee, and toes point toward the ground. I take my right hand below my shoulder, inhale the left arm up. Okay, and if I can, actually look up. This is the rotated balancing half moon, Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Let's exhale the limbs back to the ground and we will vinyasa. And we'll do that on the other side. Okay, so when I'm teaching online, it's a little bit of a different animal. So I'm going to turn around this way because otherwise I won't be facing the screen for most of the time, okay? So you can turn if you want to, depending on where your computer is. All right, so we're going to bring the right leg forward this time. Okay, and then we inhale up into our Michelangelo position, right? So we're here to start. And we're going to start with the same warm-ups that we did last time. Okay, so I'm going to pivot my right toes forward, take a nice deep breath, and I exhale into I'm just going to call it an easy triangle. So we're not trying to go as deep as we can. Again, we're not worried too much about alignment. Just stretch. Good. We're going to do that a few more times. Coming over here, just stretch a bit. And again, we've done this once, so this time, maybe going a little further. Right? And then one more time on both sides. Again, stretch. And then other side, stretch. Good. Now we're going to add a twist. So exhale down right in the middle. Inhale back up. Exhale down this side. Good. Inhale back up. Two more times, both sides. Again, if it's difficult, try and be aware of what is it. Flexibility? Is it strength? What is challenging you here? Coordination, that can be another one, right? Just not sure where you're supposed to put your body. Okay, last one. This is our deeper twist. So I pivot my toes around, right? This is like the rotated half moon or the rotated triangle coming all the way around. Whoop, a little bit of balance going on here. Good. Coming back around here. This is 2. And every time I'm doing this, I'm feeling some of the muscles stretching. And some of them are working too. So each position is unique. And 3. Right. We'll do the other side. Good. Now let's come back up to our start position and we'll bring our hands to our hips. Now let's do some static work. Okay. We bring that left hip forward, square off those hips. So we're here in this position. All right, again, nice and wide, heels down, legs straight, hips squared. Okay, let's inhale, the right thumb over the left thumb, palms joined together. As we exhale, we come forward and down. Forward and down, nice and slow. Nice straight spine, nice and long, reaching to the crown of the head, coming down. And then hands reach the ground, split our hands apart. Okay. Now again, use a block if you need it. All right, I'm not going to use one. Just place my hand there, and then I'll inhale the right arm up into my twist. Okay, so again, I'm looking up. With each inhale, I reach to the crown of the head. With each exhale, I explore bringing that shoulder back. And again, you might find it, I'm finding it challenging right now to keep that left heel on the ground. So I'm trying to send some weight, some energy back there. What's the breath doing here? Good, let's exhale that hand down. We come off the back leg. I'm gonna fire that leg up. Okay, so again, try and send energy out through that heel. That will bring the leg more or less parallel with the ground. Planting that left hand under the shoulder, we inhale the right arm up again. And you relax into this. It's very intense. It's intense for me. The muscles in my left glute are fatiguing. Okay? As they fatigue, the muscle in the leg begins to shake. But I can stay present. I can stay relaxed with that. That's what we're learning here. Good. Let's exhale that hand and leg down. And we will vinyasa right back to our downward dog. All right, so we're back in our downward dog. And from here, let's go ahead and come down onto our belly. Okay, so we'll come down onto our belly. We're going to bring the right hand over the left hand and the forehead on the back of the hands and just relax here for a moment and take a few breaths. This is a great time to check in on your breathing and make sure that you're still using the techniques as I taught you there at the beginning of the class. Okay, so we're going to do a half locust today, and we'll begin with a dynamic version of the pose. So we bring our arms down and we lift one half of our body and then the other half to insert our arms underneath us. Okay? So we're sort of sitting on our arms, if you will. And the palms are down, pinkies are touching. Mouth, chin, or forehead are on the mat. All right, now we're going to try and keep our hips on the ground. And as we inhale, we're going to lift that right leg up. And exhale, putting it back down again. Good. Inhale, lifting it up, maybe a little higher, keeping the hip down. And exhale, lower it again. Good. A few more times. Two more. And one more. Just keep it lifted. Okay, keep the face relaxed. And again, just let those muscles fatigue a bit. Muscle fatigue is very good for us physically, and it also can really help us cultivate a very strong awareness that isn't easily overwhelmed by strong sensation. We just keep lifting that leg up. Keep breathing. Keep relaxing or surrendering into the experience. Good, let's exhale that leg down. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So inhale the left leg up, lift it, and exhale slowly back down. Good, 4 more times. Now we lift it and we keep it lifted. Try and keep your face and jaw relaxed. Breath is still deep and rhythmic and slow. You might notice in what way you're trying to avoid this experience. It might be a physical tensing in your body. It might be mental, trying to escape, trying to think about something else. And you just relax into this experience. Sure, intense experience, but we have the capacity to experience it. Good. Let's exhale, release that leg. Take a breath here. And now we'll try and do both legs together. Let's reaffirm our grip with our hands. And with the inhale, we're going to lift both legs up. Keep our mouth or face on the ground, pressing into the hands, lifting those legs, and breathing. Good. Exhale, come on down. Let's relax those arms. And let's bring the left hand over the right hand, forehead on the back of the hands, and just relax. Deep breaths in and out. All right, good. So let's bring our arms out like a T. Okay, like in a T position. You're going to bend your knees and then just drop your feet from side to side. Sorry, the computer went to sleep. Okay, so you're just dropping your feet from side to side. Doing as many of those as you like, so it looks something like this. And then when you've done enough, you just press yourself back into a child pose. Good. Let's do just a little bit of core here. So let's come into a plank position. Tuck those toes so everything nice and lined up here. And this is called walking the plank. So we exhale right and left. So we come into basically a forearm plank. And then we inhale back up right and left. Then we come down left and right. Right? Inhale, left, right. Exhale, right, left. Inhale, right, left. Exhale, left, right. Inhale, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, 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 and hold. So lining everything up, holding this position. Again, not collapsing to the shoulders, but engaged. Face does not need to tense. Okay, so shoulders are active, face is relaxed. The breath is deep, it's rhythmic and slow. Good. Exhale, come on down and just melt back into the crocodile pose. Now let's get into the shoulder a bit. Bring our right arm straight out to the right, palm down. What I'd like you to do is from there begin to roll toward that shoulder. Okay? And then you can possibly bring your feet to the ground like so. Your left hand is just in front of your chest or shoulder and pressing that left shoulder back. Okay, you should feel stretch in the shoulder, maybe in your back a little bit. Breathe into any tight spaces that you feel. Use the breath to help the muscles relax and release their tension. Good. Exhale. Let's come back onto our belly. Left side, same thing. Palm out to the side. Begin to roll toward it. If I can, I bend the knees, place them on the ground. And again, right hand is just in front of the chest and shoulder, just pressing that shoulder back. Breathing into it. Good. Let's exhale, come back onto our belly. And then from there, we'll press back and come to a seat. All right. So bringing our legs out in front of us, let's take a seated twist next. Bring our right leg in, cross that foot over the knee. If possible, bring the left foot back towards the right hip. Okay, now sit up nice and tall, spine erect. Inhale the right arm up, exhale that hand back behind you. Inhale the left arm up and exhale the elbow over the knee. Inhale, sit tall, reaching through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, use the arms for leverage. Looking back over the right shoulder, taking a nice deep twist. Good. We inhale to come back to center. And exhale those legs out straight again. Let's bring the left foot in, cross the left foot over the right. Again, you can do this with this leg straight, but if possible, let's bring this foot back here. Try and keep our hip bones down, right? Then we inhale that left arm up, exhale it back behind us. Inhale that right arm up, elbow over the other side of the knee. Inhale, sitting tall, reaching through the crown of the head. And exhale as we look back over the left shoulder. Good. We inhale, come on back. And exhale as we extend our legs. Let's give our legs a little shake. Okay. And then as we inhale, bring our arms out in front of us. And exhale as we slowly roll back onto our back. And go all the way back. Good. Go ahead and bring our right leg in. Give it a little squeeze. This is called Pavana Muktasana or Ardha Pavana Muktasana, Ardha Apanasana. Got a few different names. So squeeze the leg in, feel the release there at the front of the hip and the outside of the hip, maybe in the back. Move it around a little bit. Good, let's switch legs, bringing that left leg in, same idea. Put a nice squeeze, move it around a little bit. Good, let's go ahead and bring both legs in. And it can feel really good to circle the knees. It gently massages the pelvis against the ground. And if you're going to do that, just make sure to do a few in the other direction. Same number if you can. Sort of balance everything out. Good. And then from here, let's go ahead and take our knees down to the left side with the next exhale. And let's just let the breath now, let's let it go. So becoming a little more yin, meaning just less active, less effort. Gravity is taking over now. Gravity in the natural rhythm of the breath. Good. We inhale those knees back to center and we take them off to the other side. Good. Let's bring those knees back to center. We're going to grab soles of our feet now. Take a little happy baby. So again, you can experiment straightening the legs one at a time, both together, pulling them overhead, pulling them off to the sides, rolling around on your back a bit. Okay, and then when you're ready, you unwind into a Shavasana. I'm going to let you do that on your own today. So go ahead and lay back. But thank you for coming, everybody. It was great to share class with you. Even though we are, we're not sharing the same space, there definitely is a different feel to the live classes, knowing that there are other people on the other end there. So I appreciate you showing up and joining me for today's class. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on Facebook, on my website, mahapathayoga.com. Lots of ways to get in touch with me. Let me know if there's any way I can help support you as a teacher. Thank you, Carrie. And I'm going to recommend you take about 6 minutes to relax on your back in stillness. And then, if possible, join me for the yin class, which is at 6. And if not, I'll hopefully see you next Wednesday for Vinyasa flow. I'll have a different sequence for you. Thank you all so much. I'll see you next time.